Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome back to Supreme Commander of Forged Alliance Forever, where today we're going to be looking at a 2v2 played on Mavys Marsh. So, before we get into introducing our players, I would like to say thank you all for helping with the 1,000 subs. It's still a little bit unreal to me that happened, and to say that I'm a little bit sick, so if I cough or if I sound funny over this cast and possibly casts that I'm going to do later tonight, that's why. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into introducing our players. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And we're going to start with Team 1 up here in the top left and Team 2 down here in the bottom right. So, starting with Team 1, we have ourselves a purple Cybran going first land by the name of Raider. Then we can move down to his ally, a blue UEF going first land by the name of Erica Pones, going first land and getting their hydro and their mexes up. Then we can go down to the southeastern side and see ourselves with a green Seraphim going first land by the name of Kavat. And last but not least for this entire game, we have ourselves a red Aeon going first land by the name of Gingerbread Man. We have one of each faction. We have UEF and Cybran versus Aeon and Seraphim, which is quite interesting. None of these players going to be sharing the same technology as anybody else in the game, unless, of course, they give an engineer to a teammate. But in general, it's a pretty big map. It's a 10 by 10 map, a decently sized map, and we have ourselves about 23,000 reclaims spread everywhere, so we're going to be able to get to the higher techs quite easily. There's not very many mexes to expand to. I mean, there are mexes to expand to, but we don't really have any clumps bigger than maybe 2 mexes. So you're going to really have to expand really wide to get a lot of mexes, but the reclaim should mean you are able to get your core 8 mexes all the way upgraded. And I say core 8 mexes because it's a 4v4 map that is being played 2v2. Speaking of the settings and everything going on with the match, it is indeed full share, so, you know, if somebody dies, their shit goes to their teammate. And since there's only one teammate, you don't have to worry about who it goes to, it just goes to a teammate. Overall, the balance rating is 94%, and we have a rating range from 1600 to 1900, so a very high level game. As these players start getting some harassing units out here, still not really much action going on, and we'll speed it up until there is some real action going on. We have a T1 bomber that, you know what, sure, why not? Let's go ahead and track the T1 bomber. We're just gonna see if anything interesting goes on while that happens. A scout dying to the Flare Spirit combo out from Gingerbread Man. As the Zeus bomber continues to make its way forward. Looks like it might be going for a kill onto an engineer over here. Does it get the kill? The engineer doing some fancy feet stuff, but gets killed by that bomber. And that's going to be the end of that. That bomber is dead, and unfortunately, it only gets one engineer kill. A good thing that Team 2 are kind of on top of their air production and had enough interceptors to deal with that. And it seems as though Raider is very upset with his ally, Erica. Says, go south, not right, that's me. And that kind of makes sense. Erica probably supposed to go this way. Okay. Erica responds, and I'm gonna say Erica's a woman because Erica is a female name, whatever. But she responds with okay, and then Raider says, what are you doing? Go south, please. Use your ACU. I will now go south, for fuck's sake. Play, please. They're very much so upset with each other. And, that might be an issue in such a high-level 2v2. Whenever the players are not on the same page, the punishment for not being on the same page is much higher, as Gingerbread Man is heading to the west. And we, of course, have Kavat heading to the east. There could be a situation in which Eric Capone's and Raider kind of kill each other. Or Eric Capone's and Raider kind of kill off Kavat, not kill each other. And that could be interesting. There are still some roaming units out from Kavat trying to stop expansion for Raider and I guess at this point also Erica. But Raider having a pretty decent party over here to kind of clean those up. Dude, please, what the fuck? Raider outwardly exclaiming his upsetness with his teammate. Another T1 bomber out here, gonna be shot down immediately. Looks like the interceptors may already be locked on. But, yeah, nope, may be able to kill off this engineer, stop Kavat from expanding. And if that happens, that'll be unfortunate for Kavat. But no, goes for the tank. Does get a tank kill, but is gonna die probably before it gets another payload off. Gonna try and run away from the interceptors, but not gonna work out. Does drop one singular bomb onto the engineer, taking half of its HP away. Ah, those cluster bombers when they drop one bomb. Did you know you can hover bomb? You can split the payload of the Zeus and the Scorcher. You can actually like fire half of the bombs in the cluster bomb it fires at one thing and the other half at another. It's very weird, but it is doable. I don't know how practical that is though. Like, people say it's broken and all, but like it requires so much micro and it's so intensive for a T1 unit that like I feel you could use your micro better somewhere else. Overall, let's go ahead and, well, down here to the south we have some not quite as aggressive expansion denial, but there is some expansion denial going on. Yeah, you know what? It is pretty aggressive expansion denial out from Eric Capone's. Eric Capone's really trying to halt Gingerbread Man's advances, which, you know, the Gingerbread Man, he's trying to live his life out here on Drury Lane, but it's really not working for him. Alright, let's go ahead and look at Reclaim. I know that I'm probably like quite scatterbrained right now. Reclaim, if you sort it by Reclaim, Erica and Raider are 1 and 2, right behind Kavat, or right behind him is Kavat and Gingerbread Man. But overall, Team 1 doing a lot better on Reclaim, almost 2,000 Reclaim up over their opponents. And overall mass economy, it seems that Team 1 is ahead by over 100, or by over 20, maybe 30 mass a second. The big leaders in this are, it's kind of hard to tell. Looks like there's some mass stalling going on. Let's stop that. Let's go back to this. As I'm sure there's fighting going on, but nothing really significant. These little bands of T1, whenever they're fighting, it doesn't mean much, if we're being honest with ourselves. Over here we have our first possible comm engagement with units. I mean, maybe there was a bit of a fight over here with the Eric Capone's, but nothing big. But we have a comm showing up, which will significantly affect a fight if it happens right over here, as Raider is still focusing quite heavily on getting his expansion going on over here. Erica, despite the miscommunication with the teammates and everything going on, it does seem Erica's managed to expand quite well down to the south. Not necessarily going to be getting the corner, but it looks like the map might end up being split about 50-50 along this line right here, or this line right here, which is interesting. We have Mantis pushing forward, going to be killing off Thumbs and the like as they go. And down here to the southwest, we have a little bit more of an engagement happening, but these players still, nobody's really committing to a large fight. It looks as though Kavat sees an opportunity over here to cut off the reinforcements that were going to be coming up behind the Mantis out from Raider, but these tanks are forfeit. These tanks die now. They're slower than Mantis, and there's more Mantis, and the comm of Raider is here. A few tanks may survive, but most of these tanks end up dead. So Kavat trading a few tanks. This is quite a play out from Kavat, because that just leaves a bunch of reclaim right here for Raider, and he already has a factory built up right here for sucking up that juicy reclaim. As we look in the bases, we can see T2 has finished up for Gingerbread Man. He's on T2 land. Elsewhere, we have T2 land for Raider and T2 land for Eric Capone. Seems Kavat being the odd man out without getting T2 anything. Does have T2 land, actually. Never mind, I am wrong. It looks like that may have just finished up as he's building his first T2 engineer. And up here to this northeast, we have ourselves Raider doing what his namesake implies, raiding against the enemy mexes and killing off a lot of stuff. It seems Kavat's having a little bit of a struggle dealing with the multi-pronged attacks coming up from Kavat. Kavat sending units almost everywhere. Hoplites out, but there is T2 finished up on the comm of Kavat. He's going to throw down a couple of PD to try and secure this western side of his forward base, and might even be able to throw up some stuff over here on the eastern side, but he's throwing all of his units over there for now. And he's going to PD creep, in fact. So gonna have to keep an eye on how that works. T1 bomber out from Gingerbread Man. Yet again, sorry everybody, I am apparently sick again, which I hate being sick, but fuck it. We're gonna keep casting until I don't have a voice at this point. But we have a T1 bomber out from Gingerbread Man. Seems to be having trouble with targeting and actually dropping its payload, so just follows the land units back as a bunch of interceptors out from Raider show up to try and kill that off. And of course, down here, Erica going to be getting a large amount of territory gain. Going to be able to take up this area if they so please. Going to be able to send some engineers down along with possibly some more of an escort. And once these mexes and PD... Wow, never mind. Just going to ignore the mechs and PD and go for this one instead. There are a few units firing at each other from every angle, but the game... Still, nothing huge or major has happened. Gingerbread Man sitting on a double comm upgrade, but he's going into T2 units with this. The double comm upgrade, I feel, is a lot more useful in the T1 phase, but is going to come in. Gingerbread Man is going to try and muscle his way through some of these units out from Erica, whose comm is nowhere near. Yeah, the comm's still pretty far away. I don't even know where they placed their comm, but it is not over here, is it? Oh, the comm is over here in the water, sitting on T2 and gun, which is interesting because I don't think it's built a T2 unit. Whoa, noob? What the hell? Why is that? What is that? How did you do that? What the hell? Oh my god, what? How the hell did you get noob to appear? And very temporarily, I might add. I feel like Raider did that, but I don't know if Raider did that. It was right on top of the comm of Erica. It's slowly like dispersing. Okay, sorry, my ADD got caught by that real hard. Is it just if you walk into the water you get the noob sign written on you? That's interesting. I'll have to watch that back, but like I don't understand where that happened or when that happened. It seemed to like just appear in front of my eyes. Alright. Down here, Gingerbread Man continuing to do his thing. Does it ever go away? It's just getting less and less legible as time goes on. Stealth on the way for Raider, who's just finished up speed and range, so he's going to be up here with a gun comm. Kavat has gun on his comm now and is going to start pushing forward. The PD creep didn't quite work out for him, as hoplites showed up to stop that, along with some assistance out from rhinos and the like. There's a huge T2 army now building up for Erica. Erica by far has the most units on screen right now, or the most valuable army right now. I think it might be time for Erica to push out, especially if the comm is still in this general area. Erica should push out. And see, look, noob is gone. What the hell? What the hell? I don't understand that. I don't understand how that happened. Alright, over here, some engineers trying to flee for their lives from the horrible, horrible menace that is the Aeon. These innocent... oh no, the innocent UEF engineers. Noob... oh? Noob... oh my god. What the hell is happening with these waters? Please tell me this isn't like a fever dream or something where like I'm imagining all these words appearing in the water and disappearing. What the hell? Okay, that's got my ADD in full lock. Why? It goes away when you zoom out, it feels. But when you zoom in, oh, it's just gone. Okay, I guess it's been doing noob oh my god all game long. And I just saw it. Okay, I'm done looking at it. I'm gonna let it stop distracting me. Over here in the northeast, it seems as though the units out from Raider are starting to lose out to the Ilsheva heavy force for Kavat. And down in the southwest, we have a little bit more engagements happening between various T1 and T2 units, between Eric Capone's and Gingerbread Man. The factory and forward expansion for Gingerbread Man has collapsed over here on this southern side, and he is going to need to fall back or take a fight with Erica right now. But it definitely feels as though Erica just kind of wins every fight because Erica's just completely transitioned into a T2 based army and he's still on a heavily T1 army. Kavat in a little bit of trouble over here on the eastern side, though. He was getting a lot of progress done up here to the north, but got a flank attack out from Raider. Both Raider and Kavat pretty low on HP. Raider having that stealth upgrade going to help him out a little bit, but is it going to be enough as Ilsheva start piling the damage in? Kavat going to move forward, does not have nano, so we do need to keep that in mind. We have Cerberus built over here, so it seems as though T2 engineers got out here, and yes, they are still over here PD creeping onto Kavat. Kavat in some possible trouble, but is Ilsheva's really putting in the work right now, giving him a lot of value. Down in the southern side, we have a bit of an engagement, but it does seem Gingerbread Man is much more standoffish. And, okay, Kavat's just gonna die. I thought Kavat would have a little bit more HP to play with there. Also, what the hell? What does this one say? Are all of the pawns talking to me? Why are the pawns talking to me? It's whenever I zoom in, whenever I get close to a pond, it starts fucking with me. I don't know how the map makers are doing this, but they're really fucking up my day. We have T3 land finished up for Gingerbread Man. And speaking about economies, Gingerbread Man is currently the leader economically. As Kavat dies, all of his stuff goes over the Gingerbread Man. Kavat kind enough to die far away from this base up here on the forward flank. So this base is going to survive for a little bit longer. Could see some more production started up over here if he felt like it. Or just throw everything into T3 Seraphim as well. Seraphim and Aeon don't have the best T3 compared to Cybran and UEF, but if you have more of it, you kind of just win. That's just how it kind of works. So, you know. Over here, Raider trying to push forward, going to be able to kill off these T1 PD without getting into too much danger. And seems as though this position is just going to be abdicated by Raider, or by Gingerbread Man. Raider gonna be doing the abdicating, or gonna be doing the taking over. What's the name of the person who takes over after somebody abdicates their throne? The successor, I guess? He's gonna be the successor of this area? Something like that. Did that say wreck? God, what did it say? Why do these pawns keep saying words? Cheater? It says cheater. What? Does it say whatever's in the chat? Oh, I'm so confused. This is cheater. What the fuck? This map is... I love this map. I'm gonna play in this map. And this is where I go through like editing and I upload it and people are like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like I'm just going fucking crazy, hallucinating some shit. Alright, over here we have Harvey Army versus the T2 UEF. T2 UEF, quite strong. I will say that the Harvey Army, while inferior to the Percival in every respect, is of course able to deal with the pillars and the P-shields that are fielded by Erica Poons. Erica, though, not to be outdone, I'm sure, is already, yes, indeed, on the T3 phase and is going to be getting all of these factories in this area up to T3 production. We're going to see mass Percival. It's going to be great. Meanwhile, there's sniper bots and other units now pouring out of the base of Gingerbread Man. Gingerbread Man on T3 production for a much longer time, even has forward T3 production facilities, so it does have an advantage in T3 production already, but needs to keep his mass up and needs to keep upgrading mass extractors and getting his eco quite high. He has to fight a two-front war now, and if anybody has played Hearts of Iron 4 recently, you know that can be a bitch sometimes. We have now sniper bots being built out of the Seraphim factories as well, and multiple Seraphim factories building Ilshivas and other things. And do we have any advancement on the air game? Anybody going for T3 air? Seems as though T3 air is a priority for Gingerbread Man, as T3 Aeon air might be on the way very soon. Going to be building up some adjacent quantum reactors to help with that endeavor. As far as air goes, nobody on Team 1 has any significant investment into the air game. The fight between Gingerbread Man and Erica Poons, the comm might be the difference, as these Harbingers, while they are really mass effective into the army they're fighting, they are losing their shields and going to be falling apart very soon. The sniper bot going to be able to get some shots off as it runs away. Fucking coward, having to rely on range instead of just brute force. We also have bricks now showing up on the eastern flank, so this T3 battle is really going to start weighing down the efforts of Gingerbread Man. He's going to have a lot of trouble dealing with the fact that his opponents are both fielding these T3 sniper bot, or his opponent, their opponents are both fielding these T3 assault bots that he just doesn't really have a great chance of defending against, because like, if you mass for mass throw a bunch of Percivals and bricks versus a bunch of Authams and Harbingers, the Authams and Harbingers lose mass for mass. So he's gonna need to come up with a solution to this pretty quick, because he's also losing map control. And once you lose map control, you lose a lot of mexes in these higher level games. It's harder to come back from than in the lower level games. T3 air is on the way. It is a comeback mechanic. It's very good for getting a snipe off, and then once you have a snipe off, you can kind of abuse the fact that you sniped them. You can try and take some of that map control back while they're trying to get their APM ramped up enough to manage the entire map once again. Harbingers over here about to be assaulted by Percival's, Strikers, P-shields, and Lobos. Very much so going to be a deadly encounter for the Harbingers as the glorious Percivals march forward and deal some quite significant damage to those Harbies. Over on the eastern side, there is still sniper bot action going on. Seems as though the sniper bots are able to dissuade the bricks from pushing any further forward. Shield now on the way for Erica Poons. Once shield is completed, that comm becomes a lot tankier. I don't know if shield is the right call right now. If you did some minor scouting, you would see that there's not that much TMD. You might be able to get away with running a TML comm at least for a little while and force a lot more TMD to be built. Really just tax yet again that APM, the actions per minute, the ever so important statistic when you're talking about FAF, the ability to do things across the map all at the same time. We can't technically multitask, but the entire point of this game oh god, my nose just clogged while I was talking, so I was like dying. The important part of most RTS games is that APM. You need to be able to swap between multiple tasks very quickly and efficiently. You need to be able to macro and micro almost at the same time. Now these players, of course, much better than me, and much better at doing that, but you can still tax their APM, even all the way up to like the super high level players. Everybody has kind of an APM cap, a point where they cannot process the information or their hands aren't good enough or accurate enough to do what they need to do. You can tax APM, and that is doing things like forcing them to build TMD. It doesn't take a lot of APM to build it, but you still have to do it. And then after that, find something else annoying that you can do while you're forcing them to build TMD and all that kind of stuff. Force your opponent to do things. Don't let them sit back and have a luxury time. That's what these sniper bots, though, are indeed providing for Gingerbread Man, using the sniper bots quite well to keep his territory, well, his. But there is a not insignificant army from Eric Capone's showing up on the doorstep and is like, hey, deal with me or die, is kind of the threat that's being waved around towards Gingerbread Man. Eric Capone's doing quite well with the Percival production. We can constantly see, if you move back, there's always 1, 2, 3, 4 Percivals on the screen. There's so many Percivals coming out. A bunch of T1 bombers come in, but don't really seem to achieve much of anything whatsoever. And the Percivals, they're going to be forced back by the sniper bots. I'm surprised that the Percivals don't decide to push forward. I would push forward here. Maybe that's my low-level player instincts talking, but I would push forward because Raider was pushing forward. I think they need to communicate a little bit better and talk about what they want to do. Over here to the south, you could even see something sneaky, like sending the Percivals through this water. It gives you a guaranteed area where you can get right into the base and not worry about the sniper bots actually doing any damage. They can't shoot you underwater, so, and you have Percivals. Percivals, FYI, they're very strong. They're very good at what they do. But gonna continue to fall back. The sniper bot's gonna be wasting their shots mostly right now on artillery and maybe a couple of engineers, but that is something. It's not that great. A GC almost competed for Gingerbread Man. Gingerbread Man's still sitting on a strong eco, but Raider, even on a stronger eco, what is Raider even working on? Raider's getting up, well, more eco with those Raz SCUs, but Raider, what's your stratagem? What's your plan? Because it seems as though you don't have one. Also, the fact that nobody's going for T3 air is kind of silly. A Maver now on the way for Erica. That's an expensive plan, and Erica, despite having over 300 mass a second, has the lowest economy in the game and is throwing all of this mass into Percivals, and those don't seem to be getting stopped in their production very much. Demolisher's on the way along with those Percivals, so willing to play it out and go to standoff tactics. T3 air has been achieved. I'm a liar. Raider has gotten T3 air. Raider is in a position to deal with the T3 air threat. I just didn't see it for some reason. I'd like to see Raider, in fact, assist the Maver, because that seems like the best strategy right now, in fact. You know, Maver kind of wins the game by itself. The question is all of this mass being thrown into the Maver? At what cost is this Maver being built? Because it doesn't seem to be affecting the production too much. I'm sure that Erica is... They're not stalling, so they aren't throwing more than they can afford into this, but this is going to be a very slow build. Kind of an impending doom moment. Where you're like, okay, well, I'm going to build this as slowly as possible. Raider not really pushing any kind of... neither of these players being aggressive with their T3 land. The GC over here, I think there's enough Percivals to kill off that GC. I don't know the exact number, but 31 Percivals seems like more than enough to kill off a GC. Maybe not with all the sniper bots, but still. No, you got it. So it feels like Erica and Raider have kind of lost the strip. They kill off Kavat, they take all of this territory, and they do nothing with it. They're just letting Gingerbread Man build up a force of sniper bots, not trying to do anything to kind of counter this. Like, neither of them, I mean, I guess Raider did, but nobody's going like, okay, you're gonna build sniper bots, I'm gonna go air and win air and beat you with that. I guess it's kind of hard since Gingerbread Man had already kind of won air, but like, you're not even going for the full commit fight seems a bit weird to me. Oh, this poor Demolisher. Erica in a bad spot. Not gonna lie, Erica needs to stop yielding ground like right now. You're about to start losing T3 mexes. This is the point where you stop yielding ground and you fight. Because if you fight and the bricks from Raider get in, then yeah, this is just a fight you take. You win or lose this fight, not necessarily with your comm, but if you win or lose this fight, as long as Raider pushes forward, you should be good. There's just some T2 PD and T1 bombers. Okay, here we go. Fight breaking out. The mighty Percival versus the puny GC starts now. Alright, units firing into each other. Seems as though the UEF have so many Percivals right here. But that GC able to suck up a Percival at a time and really just take it out of the fight. But the Percivals will be able to kill off the GC very soon. The sniper bot's sitting in the back, getting that value out, but not quite going to be able to do anything great. We can see a UEF comm chasing away the GC, which is quite the funny situation. Oh man, here's the thumbnail. Oh yeah, here's that thumbnail. The army for Erica is no worse for wear, but the GC is gonna turn around and fire on Erica. They need to kill off. You need to kill off the GC or stop moving your comm forward. No. Get the shield. 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 The shield's gonna go over Erica. Erica's in a huge amount of danger right now. Oh, the GC is gonna kill off Erica, but the GC is gonna die in the process. Oh no! Erica got too ballsy with the comm. Meanwhile, over here on the southeastern side, there's a ton of T1 and T2 bombers trying to defend against the massive brick incursion. The brick's gonna be able to kill off a decent number of mexes and a decent number of a decent infrastructure amount, but not quite gonna be enough. A Czar about to finish up. And more bricks constantly pouring in, but T1 bombers coming out in droves just to kill off the bricks. They're gonna continue to find damage at least for a little while, but Raider has now built a megalith, and Raider needs to decide what he wants to do to win this game. Seems that Czar is on the menu for Gingerbread Man. Raider gonna continue to send forward this march of the Percivals. Along with bricks, gonna possibly try and win it on the ground, but I don't think that'll work unless you can get air control. It's just, there's so much air to ground damage coming out from Gingerbread Man. I just don't see how it works. Another GC now on the way. The first GC proving invaluable, but Erica, if Erica had just not been so aggressive with the comm there, I think Erica could have won that without losing the comm. Fat Boy now on the way. Megalith pushing forward. Looks like there's a bunch of haphazardly placed hives, and then there's going to be more megalith action going on. The massive economic advantage coming out from Raider is not to be understated. Over 500 mass a second in the lead. Could literally build that Maver without caring. Gingerbread Man's gonna be building GCs really quick to try and deal with all of this. Most of the Percivals have indeed died. They spread out a little bit more, but they are dying. There's this constant onslaught of bricks and other things to try and deal with this. There's even megaliths being like massively instantly built and fat boys and such, but Gingerbread Man gonna be getting aggressive with the Tsar. I don't know if that's gonna be enough. If they kill off the T3 Air HQ, that could be significant. But Gingerbread Man gonna try and get this Tsar in and deal some serious economic damage. Don't know if it's gonna be enough. He may be forced back, but Gingerbread Man playing a stunning game against the UEF and Cybern opponents. Down here to the southeast, there's still just T3 bots just walking into this base, but there's so many T1 bombers and so many Spectre gunships just going to town on anything that moves. A Colossus just finished. This land assault is petering out. Even the Megalith won't be able to offer that big of a threat. With the GC finishing with all of this air, the Megalith will die here. It seems as though another Megalith may have just finished, or maybe some other experimental is finished, but the economy for Raider is going to be under siege now. A bunch of anti-air now going to start being built up by Raider, but he's losing T3 mexes very quickly, and every time he loses one, he loses a lot of eco. He's built another Megalith. This is going to be painful. He has a lot of RAS SCUs, so his eco is going to be quite hard to completely destroy, but he could be brought down to the level of Gingerbread Man quite easily. The Megalith down here just going to die to the GC, which is not what normally happens in the Megalith GC kind of fight, but the GC will be brought down to oh, maybe not. Since it's just Spectres now, the GC does have a good chance of dying. The GC needs to turn around and shoot. The GC is going to die for no reason. Okay, GC almost killing itself for no reason. Whew. Okay. Tsar still up here, just killing off literally anything it can get its grubby little hands on. There's a bunch of SAM sites over here, so the Tsar kind of just needs to fall back. It could possibly be greedy and go for a couple more of the T3 mexes. That brought down the mass lead from 500 to still about 500. Actually, he was well over 500 for a little bit. But the mass lead getting evened up just a tiny bit. This, I think that you just need to start mixing in a massive amount of flak. With how many Spectre gunships and bombers there are here, just mass produce flak out of a few factories and have that move forward, and you solve this issue you're having. But I know it is probably has something to do with the APM required. Fat Boy and Megalith now over on this eastern flank, trying to help each other get forward to deal with this onslaught of units. There's a GC that needs to go down. ASF now showing up for Raider to kill off all of this. Seems as though the ASF numbers have equalized, as I'm sure a lot of them died to the SAM sites built up by Raider. I would like to still see experimental production. I don't know what he's going for. Seems more hives over here is the call, which is a call you can make. T3 engineers going to rebuild mass extractors, which I think is a good call. And a lot of anti-air being built up in the base. A lot of build power being built up in the base, but what are you doing with it? What's the strategy? What's your end game with this entire setup you have going here? There's so many dead experimentals. The GC over here died, but another one has already come to replace its spot. We have a Tsar flying around. We have 3 GCs on the field for Gingerbread Man. Over here, this southern production facility, which I don't know if this was just built or if it's been here for a while, is seemingly going to be destroyed. And overall, it's just there's flak and Percivals being produced. I don't know if there's going to be enough Percivals produced fast enough to really stop this from going down. Air Capone's asking about finishing the Maver. The Maver, not a priority for Raider whatsoever. Over here to the east, we have Fat Boys and Megaliths. There's GCs. There's a Tsar coming in to finish off the job on these T3 factories that were built up. And another Tsar now on the way for Gingerbread Man. I saw him producing flak down here. I'd like to see more flak being produced in general. Hell, use the Fat Boy. It's sitting right here doing nothing. Build flak.
Build a flak.
It's not going to happen, but still. A lot of people seemingly forget that both the Czar and the Fat Boy and the Tempest and probably others can build units. I mean, technically the Megalith can even build units. People seemingly not aware of that fact. But I am. I remember. Another Czar finishes up. That's 2 Czars just floating around. And multiple GCs. 3 GCs coming up the western flank. And over here on the eastern flank, I also like to point out, I don't think Gingerbread Man or Kavai have said anything to each other all game. But Gingerbread Man still needs to defend against this large land force. And he really just, I mean, he still has all of like the gunships and everything. But like, there is enough HP here that these gunships and the T1 bombers take a significantly long time to kill this off. And as long as Raider has enough to try and deal with the Czars, this is kind of a non-issue. But I don't know if Raider has enough to deal with the Czars. Does have some mobile AA, very low amount of mobile AA for all of the pain that has been brought to him by close air support coming out from Gingerbread Man, but a large assault of Percival's bricks and experimentals gonna be forced back by just a few air units. Air really paying dividends for Gingerbread Man. One of the Czars does go down to the ASF out from Raider. Raider still has a few ASF kicking around. Looks like he's going for the second Czar. I don't know if he'll be able to get it. He's going to be pushing in with the large force coming out from our man Raider. Gingerbread Man in a rough spot. Going to be able to kill off all of the ASF and use the Czars to try and stop this. But as I said earlier, there's enough HP here to significantly destroy this base. Like, you just have enough HP between all of the T3 units and those the Megalith and everything else that, like, the Megalith, sure, it dies quickly, but does it die so quickly that it doesn't kill off all of these T3 power gens that are dying in front of us? Absolute carnage on the screen right now. Such a beautiful game being played. As the Czars continue to try and kill off this land army, the last T3 HQ remaining is this Aeon Land T3 HQ, and once that goes down, no more T3 production, no more build power really going to be made anywhere. The Czar's going to be able to kill off most of this stuff, but is it going to be enough? Needs to kill off the Megalith before it gets into this pond, because that can actually kill Gingerbread Man. The bricks technically have torpedoes, but they are more for show than anything. And overall, Gingerbread Man down to 28 HP. He has gotten 3 GCs into the base of Raider, but Raider built a Megalith kind of on the fly and killed off all the GCs. The GCs kind of not an issue anymore. Also had some Harbinger support coming in, but overall, it does get a lot of damage done, but Raider is safe, and Raider still has more than enough mass to end this game out. And multiple Megaliths just now showing up. Like, he just needs to find the calm. And that is Czars possibly going down to bouncers. This is not how you want to be losing these Czars. These Czars are very valuable. Okay. Let's go ahead and, I mean, this is the game. Whatever these Czars do, they decide the game. The Czars die, they end the game. Alright. This is the pond with the comm of Raider. Does Raider know that this is that indeed pawn, or does Gingerbread know that this is the pawn that has Raider in it? Because if he knows, this could be dangerous for Raider. Is there any damage being dealt to the comm of Raider? It doesn't seem necessarily like it. Raider's comm... No, it is losing HP, and they are locked onto the comm. And... Wait, there's a double-edged sword here. If he shoots down the Zars kill him. No! Gingerbread Man has won. Gingerbread Man has won as long as his comm doesn't die. Zar 1 falls. Bring him down to 200 HP. If Zar 2 just drops a bomb, he kills him. Oh my god, Raider's gonna lose! Pancakes for the win! Gingerbread Man makes us a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful breakfast. And with that, I'd like to say good morning and have a nice day. Other than that, fuck you. Goodbye.